I'm ready. I was typing.
Hi, everybody. Wait, hi. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Being Trans. It's Lilith and Amanda. I'm Amanda. That's Lilith. Amanda Bonanza, Lilith Elektra. That's the whole fake name.
The whole dang crew.
That's it. That's the complete fake name. Do you have a fake middle name too, Lilith?
No, my real name Lilith Elektra is my first and middle name.
I,
We've had this
I
conversation. Like we have this. I don't use fake names. If my company that I work for sees me here, if some crazy transphobe wants to see me here, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Y'all are cowards.
yeah. Don't. I'm not a coward. I
Not
have good
you. Not
reason.
you. People who would find me because I.
Oh.
Not you.
And I was like, I thought you were calling me a coward because I use a stage name. But like, okay, so like I've been in entertainment. I was a touring rock musician, like pre-transition, all that stuff for years, decades even. And I used the stage name for that. And eventually what happened is when I transitioned and I had to legally change my name, I had been using that name so much that I was just like, well, I'm just going to legally change my name to that. And so that's what I did. But then I very quickly realized why you use a separate name. And like, I was like, oh, I understand this now. And so I had to make a new one. And that's what Amanda Bonanza is. So, yes, Amanda Bonanza is not my legal name, but if you run into me, I'll
To
respond
be
to
fair,
it.
my
Yeah.
legal real name is Humpty Creamcorn. Little known fact about me.
Watch this. Watch this.
Oh, nice look, powerful.
I believe you totally.
Y'all, I survived my trip to Utica. I had an amazing time. Thank you to the Uptown Improv
Yes.
Festival for hosting me, and I'll be looking to hit the road again. Maybe not the rest of this year. I don't want to be traveling in the north when it's snowing and shit. But we'll see what happens. I got
That's why
obligations here in Detroit now.
you should come out here and travel to this place so you and I can do shows here.
I'm trying to do San Francisco
That's right.
in the January, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Well, I have friends in San Francisco and
Oh,
I want to do shows with you. So let me do a show with
okay.
you.
I mean, we'll see. I can't make any guarantees.
I know she can't make any guarantees. She's
I mean,
just like I have to like
you gotta start taking those improv classes before I get
I'm
on stage and
starting to
do
take I'm
improv
gonna
with you.
take my first improv class on Monday. And that's
Okay.
gonna start. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
And so like yeah, I
All
mean this
right.
is nothing. This doesn't count.
Work on that yes
This
and
thing we've been doing 3 years
for 3 years. You
doesn't
haven't learned
count
anything
at
from me.
all.
You have not learned anything from me.
I've learned so much from you. I've learned everything from you.
Everything. Hmm. Oh, look at this. I've got like my 32-ounce cup of flavored water. Question
Yeah.
of the day. Question of the day. Favorite horror movie.
Favorite
That's our
scary
question of the
movie.
day.
Favorite scary movie. Question
Favorite
today.
scary
Let us know in the
movie.
chat.
Yeah.
What's yours, Lilith?
Hereditary. Hereditary is one of my favorite movies, scary or otherwise. It's an amazing film.
Never even
Uh,
heard of it.
you haven't learned anything from me.
I just learned that there's a movie called Hereditary that
Fair enough.
exists.
Fair enough. So there's a question. This is our question of the day. Lilith, do you do stand up? I used to do stand up. I do improv. I have a one-person improvised show. Although for my improv show this in Utica this past week, I did do stand up because it was in like a huge theater. And I was just like, it's just little old me on stage, and they had a mic that the MCs were using. So I grabbed the mic and I did improvised stand up for half my show, mostly making fun of Unica because man, it's a land that time fucking forgot. I can tell you that right now.
It's
Nothing
it's weird.
against it.
It's
Had a
weird
great
how much of
chicken parm
upstate New
sandwich.
York
Yeah,
is like that. Like the
yeah.
juxtaposition of between upstate New York and New York City
Oh,
is
well, no,
like is
you fold the country in half, and like the northern parts are just the southern parts with snow. Northern Wisconsin is just southern Alabama. That's all there is to it.
that's not true at
How
all.
much time have you spent in the North Woods?
I used to. It's been a long time. It's been a long
Yeah, it's
time.
been a long time.
It's been
It's
a
been a
long time, but like it's not
long
like
time.
it's not the same. It's the different thing. I just remember all the weird Norsky stuff. Like I think attitude-wise, I think you're right, but
Yeah.
stylistically, it's very different.
Well, yeah, because there's snow and shit.
Eggs are snow. Yeah, I guess
You
you're right.
can't be wearing cargo shorts in December in the
Well,
north.
that's like that. I mean, you're basically using the David Cross joke about the redneck accent is
Uh,
everywhere. It's
I
like
don't I don't know any David Cross jokes, but okay.
you
Oh,
don't know
some good
David
favorite scary
Cross.
movie.
Do you know
I
who
don't know
David
any of his
Cross is?
material. I don't know his like stand up.
You haven't studied and memorized his
He seems
stand-up
very
comedy.
condescending as a stand up. He seems
He's one of my
very
favorite stand-up comedians ever.
that that
He's
tracks.
great
That
at all the
tracks.
time.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
fantastic. To this day,
Scary
he's one
movies.
of the
Let's talk
best
about
out
scary
there.
movies that are David Cross. The thing.
Right.
The thing is one of the greatest is oh my gosh, this is such
Yeah,
a
John
great
Carpenter.
yes, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
With
give that. I'll cede that. John Carpenter is the
Kurt
thing. Yeah,
Russell
fantastic movie. Yeah,
with a beard and a flamethrower. Like that's Kurt
that's
Russell
fun.
movies are
That's
based on how
beautiful.
long his hair is, how long his facial hair is, and what weapons he has.
My Kurt Russell fandom is based on is he in the movie, and if it yes, then I
Oh,
fucking love
yeah.
the movie. Like I fucking love Kurt
Stargate
Russell.
is a Stargate.
Love Stargate. Stargate's
Really?
amazing.
Stargate does not
Stargate's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love
okay.
Stargate. It's so
Okay.
good. When's the last
Okay.
time you saw it?
I don't it's not a movie that I would watch. It's not in my
That's the
what I
thing
would
is you
like.
haven't seen it. It holds up. It's
Is
probably
it
even
better than
better
Big
than
Trouble in Little China?
it's different.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
It's its
enough.
own thing. But like, I mean, like, understand. I think Stargate came out in like 1994, and
Yeah,
that was like peak me dropping acid every fucking third day.
fair enough. Fair enough. Uh
Like, and so
wait,
like,
so hold
Stargate
on.
was good.
Have you seen Nightmare on Elm Street? That's another good one.
I
The
have
first
seen
one.
Nightmare. I've seen like the first five, and I don't know if
The
they still
first
made
one is
more
so
after that.
good.
First one's amazing with Johnny Depp. Like,
He
yeah,
comes back at the end and pulls the mom through the door. Spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't
mhm.
seen Nightmare on Elm Street by now, it's 2024.
Yeah, it's like it's yeah. You can
I'm sorry
spoil
to have
it.
spoiled it for you. And she's clearly like a blow up doll and like gets pulled through the window. It's so great. So good.
Well, okay, I don't know if we talked about this before. I feel like we talked about this before, but like
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street is like in a way it's similar to the Terminator franchise where the first one was like serious
Yeah.
and scary. Okay, do you consider the Terminator to be a scary movie?
No, I don't consider Terminator scary.
Okay. Okay. So that wouldn't count because that would be mine. So my scary movie doesn't count because I'm gonna go the Terminator. Because I think it is a scary movie, the first one. Like and then so anyway, but like so like how the Nightmare on Elm Street's like that too, where the first one was like serious and like meant it, and like the first I mean, was that even which came did Night Friday the 13th came before.
Friday the 13th was the OG. It was like
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
like
the
the late
first slasher
70s. Yeah,
horror,
yeah.
right?
Maybe not the first, but yeah.
Was Texas Chainsaw Massacre the
Texas
first
Chainsaw was
slasher
early
horror?
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I don't think was that I never saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre either.
Oh,
I
that
know
one's awful. That one's awful. I don't think
everyone
I'd watch
I've
that
ever
today.
known that's a film person and a movie
Yeah.
person swears up and down that that's one of the best movies ever made.
It
And I've
is, but
never
it's a lot. It's a lot.
well, yeah, that's okay. I'm a grown up. I can handle it.
Watch Studio 666, the horror movie with the Foo Fighters. It's actually it's it you know what? We watched the movie and it's like an hour and 50 minutes
The
long and I was like,
Fighters.
this the Foo Fighters. So it stars Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters. It felt like a 4 hour movie. Like pacing was very bad, but Dave Grohl is like a 10 as an actor. He's great.
Really?
Yeah, oh he
I
just
mean,
goes all in on it.
he
He just
has
goes all
acted
in.
like he didn't help murder Coke Cobain all these years.
All right, we're gonna stop this conversation. Oh, Halloween was before Friday the 13th as well. Halloween was good. There's a question before we have a bunch of questions, but one that I think you can knock out. Someone asked about your hair routine. They had if you scroll back.
Hair routine?
Well, not my hair routine. I clearly let robins nest in it and then just go outside.
Not true.
Eh,
Okay, so
mm,
that depends if for me. That depends on what so most days I don't do anything. Like I work at a kind of a, like a, I work at a taekwondo studio with kids, and I pick them up from school and I drop them off and I help them with their homework and I do stuff like that. And so like those days I don't get cute for the kids. Like, I don't do it. Like I'm older than all of their parents, and like I'm just an old lady to them. So there's no point in me getting cute for them. Plus I don't want to even bother. Anyway, so most days my hair routine is I sleep with it in a scrunchie and I just leave that in most of the week, and that's how I live my life. And then but when I do the show, when I clean up, my routine is I wash my hair, I take a shower and I wash my hair the night before, and then I sleep with it tied in a bun and let it dry overnight. And then in the morning when I get up, I just brush it out and I run it through a curling iron. That's the only thing I do. I don't use any product. I don't do anything else with it. This is just the hair that grows out of my head. There's no color. It's nothing. This is just what I got to work with.
Yeah.
Like, and so yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, I know.
I brush the knots out of my hair every 3 days and use dry shampoo, and then once in a while I'll use Moroccan hair oil if I'm feeling it.
Yeah, it's the best stuff.
and then
I'll
sits
run
on
some
my
of that
head.
through once in a while too, because I've got like some Moroccan oil
Yeah.
stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just looking over. Rosemary's Baby is a good one. Yeah. I saw Rosemary. I went on this kick about, oh, geez, it's been 20 years now. I
Yeah.
feel like it was yesterday, but it was 20 years ago where I was like, I need to watch all the movies I've never seen, like all the classics. And that's when I first saw Alien for the first time. And I saw Rosemary's Baby for the first time. There's a bunch of movies that I hadn't seen that I was like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch these classics. And Rosemary's Baby was one of them. And that movie was awesome. And like, I know she passed recently, but I absolutely love Shelley Duvall and everything I've seen her
Oh
in. She
yeah.
was just
She's great.
fantastic in everything.
Great.
She's so good. And one of my favorite movies that she ever did, and it's one of my favorite movies, period. And
Popeye.
yes,
That's,
Popeye, 1980. It's
I
so
remember
good.
I saw it in theaters, and it was just like it was
You
such
were
a
a kid. You didn't get it. Like you didn't yeah, in 1980, we were what? You were 5?
Popeye. Yeah, Popeye's a kid's movie. It's for
No, it's not. It's not at all.
and was severely
No, that is
mismarketed because
very
it was
much
just a bunch of
an
kids in
adult
the
art movie. Like that is very much an art movie for adults. Like it's
yeah.
amazing. Like anyway, I love Popeye. It's great. It's
Well, you love the
hilarious.
movie Popeye. I don't think I've ever heard anyone who loves like the comic Popeye.
The comic? Like, is there a comic book
That's where
or
well, you think
strip?
they just made the movie
Well,
out
there
of
was a
thin air?
cartoon.
The cartoon was based on like a 30s comic.
I didn't know about the comic.
Yeah.
I
The
saw I
comic and the
love the
cartoon.
cartoon. So
Really?
I love the early ones.
Yeah.
The old ones before it got World War II, rah rah America. Like they right around like in the 40s they redid all the cartoons to be like, save scrap iron, brr, 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 go America, we support our troops kind of thing. And all the cartoons got shitty like that, and Popeye
I
was
mean,
one of them. But like
to be fair,
read that.
we were fighting Nazis. I mean, you
Yeah,
say that
no,
like,
and I no,
oh,
I
you're all
we were on the
pro-American. It's
right
like,
side
well,
of that
we
war.
were
I
on the
feel
right side
strongly
there.
about that.
Like the one time we were on the right side, you could like proudly
I'm
say that.
I'm still I still agree with that. However, like what I'm saying is before that in the 30s and I think even in the 20s when Popeye was on, it was fucking druggy as fuck and it was awesome. And like people think that like when you go back in time, like culture was square and more uptight, and that's not how it works. It goes in like uptightness and conservatism goes in waves, and like the 40s was like where square ass shitty conservative America really started. Like because in the 30s it was
Okay.
fucking buck ass wild, and the 20s were
Okay.
buck ass wild.
All right.
Like
Hold on. I just want
we're way off
to
topic. Yeah,
you were going way off topic.
I can't help
And we
it.
said we were going
Popeye
to
was
keep
a
it tight
great
today.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right.
We
I think
can so we can keep it tight. How we doing?
let's keep it tight. We got like
It's
3
been
good
15
questions
minutes
here.
in.
Yeah, you're like going on about Popeye. It's just like
No, I went past Popeye.
you
I
went
went
past
into the
Popeye.
to the history of culture, of American culture.
Favorite scary movie, and you spent like 5 minutes talking about
I
Popeye.
never even named one. I think, did I just default? Oh, mine was the Terminator,
You were like,
which
I
you
don't
didn't
know, I don't
qualify
like
as a
scary.
scary movie.
It's not scary.
The first Terminator was scary when you're a kid. You don't think the idea of Skynet is scary. People are still scared of Skynet. The war against the machines. That's terrifying. Look at that face. She is
Yeah, my camera's not frozen.
uninterested.
I've
She
just
is
shut down.
not
I've just shut down.
impressed with
All
my
right, fine. Go
tastes.
back and find our first question. Go do that.
Our first question
Bum bum bum.
comes to us from Tori in the chat, in the YouTube chat. Thank you, Tori. It is. I gotta swing it up and I gotta find it. Here it is. Tori asks, what can you do if you can't really transition all the way because of safety and money issues?
Oh. I feel for you. Did Tori tell us where they're located?
I don't know, Tori,
Because that
did
might
you?
inform me.
That
But
does make a difference because
you
that
know,
that that changes. But let's just assume
well,
she's in a place that
yeah.
she's being honest
Honestly,
that
the
she
one
can't
thing
do
I
it.
always tell people is all you can do is what you can do, and it can be overwhelming, and it can, for lack of a better term, suck to not be able to do everything that you want. But really, all you can do is take those steps that you can do now and prepare for, putting yourself in a position to get those things when things change. You know, I didn't transition until I was way older. I kind of wished that I could have done that sooner. I honestly, like, as soon as it was possible for me, I just did whatever I could then. And I didn't start hormones right away because I thought I was too old. I thought it wouldn't work. And as I took the steps that I wanted to, I found that that was possible, and now that's where I am today. Yeah, Portland. I mean, I s- I don't want to pry. So, Portland.
I have a lot to say about that. I lived in
Then
Portland.
that then you go for it. You take over. Just don't start talking about Popeye.
Okay, so Portland, Oregon is one of the best places you can be if you want to transition in the United States. It's up there with Seattle and Los Angeles, and New York as the one of the better cities in the country where you can do this. So let's talk about safety. It's Portland's is almost as safe as it gets. Maybe Seattle's a little safer, maybe Los Angeles, but like Portland's is you're not going to get much safer and that. Now if what you mean by safety is like you're in some sort of relationship that's not safe, or like you have a workplace situation that's not safe, that's something that I can't speak to. But like I if it's actually Portland, the city of Portland, Oregon, like, yeah, that's not a transphobic city, not by a long shot. Like, and also on top of that, the state government in Oregon is very progressive, and as far as money goes, I think you'll find that it costs a lot less to transition than you would think it was. It's surprisingly affordable, especially
Yeah, work and family. It's
okay.
not the area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's work and family. Well, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's usually what it is. That does suck, but so it's your wife. So it's not your immediate family. So that's good. So it's her wife that's supportive. So that's good. I mean, honestly, like if it's that, like that's kind of just part of the package. Like that's something we all have to deal with. Like I don't think I've ever met anyone that's transitioned that didn't lose family or friends to some degree. Like it's one or the other, it more often than not both. It's just kind of a part of it. It's tragic that it is that way, but it's part of it. But like that, it's scary, and is one of those things that, like, I mean, Lilith was saying she didn't transition until later in life, and for a multitude of reasons. Same for me. I didn't start transitioning till I was in my till like my early 40s. Like, and when I did, it was like I can't put this off anymore. And the reason that I put it off for as long as it did was exactly that reason, as I didn't want to deal with all the potential of losing family or friends or my job or all of those scary things. But in the end, that is just part of the gauntlet that as being a transgender person that you must run. Like, it's just part of the package and there's no way around it.
And one thing I say every time we do this show and we give answers, like, you have to figure out what's best for you. So I'm always hesitant to tell people, what I did or what I've done because, you know, I like I just do things different. Let me just say that. Like, I do things
We
differently.
all do, though. I
We
think
all do things differently, but I would say, like, in the past, I've quit jobs. I've not talked to my family in
yeah,
2 years.
same.
And like that's a
It's
tough
hard.
band-aid to fill up, but if it's my happiness over whatever the hell they got going on, like, I'm going to put my happiness first. And they're going to tell you it's selfish. It's not selfish. You're on this earth to live your
No,
life and
they're
be
the ones
happy.
being
If
selfish.
if if you want to be happy and someone else is telling you not to be happy, you're not selfish for wanting to be happy. They're
They're
selfish for not
selfish
wanting to
for
be
not
happy.
wanting to
And
let you be
so
happy. It's
so
insane.
I
The
would say,
disconnect
when it comes
and
to
the
family,
projection.
you
I'm
have
sorry.
to it's okay. You have to make that decision about what's important to you. It's not going to be an easy decision.
It's not.
But you have to live the life that's going to make you happy, and it's nice that your spouse is supportive. When it
I
comes to
think
work,
that's go on, go on.
when it comes to work, I'm not sure what work you do, what field you are in, what opportunities are, but you can have a job and also look for another job. You know, if you and
I'd
your wife
argue that you should do that. There's a
should
lot of
always be
a
looking
lot
for.
of data out there that says that you should change jobs every 3 years. That's
Yeah.
how you get pay increases. People that stay in their same job for longer than 3 years typically make less money than people who change jobs every 3 years. So
You
this
guys,
might
you
be
got to come
just
to our other podcast, Being Employed, for that information.
which I would know all about.
But yeah, so when it comes to things like this, I think the tact I've always taken is it can be overwhelming. And I've had those nights, we've all had those nights where we sit there and we're just beat down by everything around us, and you really just have to sit down and figure out where you want to go, what direction you want to go, who's with you, and what do you do with the people um that aren't with you. And you're not wrong for leaving people behind. You're not
We're
wrong
not.
if you choose to keep your family in and tone down how you transition, and that's how you choose to live your life. That's not wrong either. I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong, but you have to find what's going to make your life the best it is. Like I said, we only have one life, and I'm not going to sit here and tell someone else how to live their life, and they're not going to tell me how to live my life. And those are tough choices, but it really is just sitting down and, like, okay, what direction am I heading? How am I going to do it? And then committing to that.
And that is just it. That's the curse of being trans. Is we have to deal with shit like
You know
this.
what?
Like,
It is a unique trans thing, but also, there are people who aren't trans who their parents aren't happy with their decisions they
it's
make.
not totally unique to
It's
being
not
trans.
totally unique
Yeah,
to that, but
it's because it happens to atheists. It happens to just anyone on the LGBT spectrum, really. It happens to anyone who defies
yeah.
religion, basically. Anyone who spits in the face of God gets that. Like, and that's just and that's part of it. And our very existence spits in the face of God. So so fuck that.
But
Like,
yeah, you said
the
your wife is
yeah.
supportive. The two of you should make a plan. If you're both working, can you afford to quit now and then look for a job? Can you look for jobs while you're doing this? The point is, like I said, the point is we get overwhelmed and then we just stop think we think there's no options. We think there's no choice, and there's always choice. Even when
You always have a choice.
always,
It's just choices are
yeah.
difficult sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not telling you to quit your job, but people think, well, I can't quit my job. It's like, yeah, you can quit your job.
You can quit your job.
I mean,
You don't
you're gonna have to deal with what's next, but you can't quit your job.
I'm also not telling you to quit your job. What I'm telling you to do is
Don't tell them
transition
to do anything.
and do it and have them fire you for it so you can sue the living shit out of them in Portland, a state where that's illegal for an employer to do.
why do I give this whole speech about how someone
Because if
can't
you
tell you,
get
and then you
fired
come in and you
for
tell them
being
what to do, and
trans,
that's
you get
questionable advice.
you get that money. And then also, if you're fired, you then also can get unemployment. You can't get unemployment if you quit. You get unemployment if you get fired. And if you get fired for being transgender, for transitioning, for coming out, that's super, super illegal and super,
Okay.
super
Tori has
potentially
said
profitable for you.
okay 5 times, and thanks for the idea. You can stop piling on with your lawsuits here.
I'm just saying, like, it's like I know I do this, and I know there's a part of me that's like, okay, like, there's an element of comedy to it, but the reality of it is like that shit wasn't there for a long time, and like a lot of people that came before us worked really hard to get those protections in place, and like as much as like it's still hard to come out, like in my opinion, part of like our responsibility as transgender people is to keep that going and to stand on the shoulders of those that came before it and to expand those rights and that equality even further. Like we've got a long way to go before we even get to remotely to equilibrium, but like it's gotten so much better
Okay.
so
Okay.
fast.
Okay. I'm just gonna. This is the last on the topic, just because
Okay,
Kate
last on the
mentions
topic.
it can be hard to prove you were fired for that reason, and Kate is right. So do not bank your future on winning a lawsuit. Just live your life the best you can and deal with whatever comes next. Don't no, I
That's why
said
you
that's
got to
the last of it.
record
Stop
stuff,
it.
everything all over the place. You always have your phone recorder on. There's an app you can get called Dolby's Recorder that you can just press a button, it'll
Find the
record
next question.
everything.
There were two more questions. Let's hop on to the next question.
No, but I mean, one
No,
last
that
thing
was
on
the
that is
last we were going to talk about. No more lawsuit advice from.
no, I was gonna agree with Kate because Kate's actually
Okay.
right. It's like they are
Okay.
aware of those things, and that's what HR departments are for, is to protect the company, and they come up with other reasons. I got fired for that. Like it happens. You
Mhm.
know, it's kind of part of it. Like, but I did get unemployment. So I didn't sue. I wasn't able to sue, but I did get unemployment. Okay.
Find that second question.
Want to do the second question now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You want to ask it? I like when you ask the questions.
Oh, you like when I ask questions? Is my
I
reading
just like when
skills?
you ask because
All
you're
right.
the best at it. You're my
Oh,
favorite
I'm the
person.
best at it. Okay. I gotta go back here. This one's from
You make
Erica.
John Oliver look like a klutzy asshole.
Erica says, if Trump were to be elected, would you consider asylum in Canada? Uh, they've looked into it and are researching the possibility of it. My thing is, I just moved to Detroit, and I'm just across the river from Canada, and so yeah, I'm hoping to get to Canada right away and then make a plan on where to go. Portugal seems to be like the easiest, one of the easier places in Europe to get to. Um, so we'll
Portugal's
see.
where I got my eyes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Honestly, I'm also going to work
South
like I
too.
have a job.
Mexico's better than you would
Yeah.
think.
I have a job that I think that, we do work around the globe. I'm hoping they might be able to help me with like getting a work visa and moving somewhere. So we'll see. I also prefer yeah. I try not to get bogged down in worrying about the future, and I know that's
I
seems
think it's
impossible based
important
where
to
we
talk
are.
about it right
It's
now.
important to talk about it, but I
Right
also
now especially.
okay, let me
I'm
finish.
just saying.
Let me finish my sentence because
I would. Well, I'm just like
okay. I try not to get
interjecting.
bogged down too much, but it's always good to at least have, like a plan or at least know what you're gonna do. But also, man, here's the thing. He's gonna lose. If he loses, the November 5th, November 6th, the campaign for 2028 starts. So if he loses and if somehow they manage to get Kamala in the White House without whatever fuckery the Republicans have planned, it's going to continue. He's not going away. Um, you know, and just like we have to be collectively stronger than the noise around us. And I know that can be tough. But yeah, I think if, I'm torn. Part of me doesn't want to leave, but then, it's like, well, we should stay here and like fight for that stuff. But then you read stuff about like people who hung around in Germany at the Holocaust, and it's just like, Yeah, my uncle got out.
I ran after the
Yeah,
revolution.
after I ran after the revolution. It's like get out while the getting's good.
North
And
Korea
like
is what it's still what it is, you know?
and Republican, like the day-to-day Republican idiots will tell you just like he's not going to do any of that. It's like they're telling us exactly what they're going to do. And yeah, I would say if he wins on November 5th, definitely get out before he gets inaugurated. Um, and then if they start fucking around when it's time to like
They're
certify
gonna
the
fuck
election,
around.
they're gonna fuck
Like,
around. If
yeah, they're
if
gonna
they
fuck
succeed
around
with that, get out before he takes
before he's installed,
before
which
he's
is what it's
installed in
gonna be.
office. Yeah.
Like, and this is I don't like to get super political on this show, but like I mean we're what, a couple weeks out, 2 weeks out. It's it's we're not going to know right away. November 5th is like the deadline for elections. Like pre-voting already started. I live in California. I already voted. Like if you haven't voted, I don't even know if you can still register to vote. It depends on what state
Depends
you're
on
in.
the state because
Yeah.
that's the kind of country we are.
Yeah.
It's
And it's
stupid.
shitty. And the systems, it sucks so bad because the system is set up to prop up the Republican Party. And so, like, if the Republicans have to lose by such a large margin, like that, like, it's always neck and neck. This shouldn't be neck and
Yeah.
neck. It's preposterous. Like, there's no, the
No,
contrast couldn't
look,
be
it's
wider. Anyway,
it's dumb to hold on. Like when we had
yeah,
13 states and like 500 people lived here, states' rights was like super important. But now it's like 350 million people, there's 50 states, and it's like, well, each
and
state
there's
each state is
instant
different.
communication. That's the thing, is like the communication alone changed the dichotomy, and it's the landscape is. I'm actually at the point where like I'd be fine with completely scrapping the Constitution and starting over. Like it's like I think there's good things in it, but it clearly doesn't work because it's gotten us right here. Like
I'd be willing to
and
bet if the people who wrote it were around today, they'd be like, "You haven't rewritten this shit yet?"
I agree. Yeah, it's like I mean Thomas Jefferson, and like, we won't talk. He was a slaver. That sucks. Like, but like but his whole thing was like, yeah, the Tree of Liberty needs to be replenished with blood, the blood of tyrants, every 20 years. So it's like it's been more than 20 years. I'll tell you that. Like and last time I checked, we haven't spilled too much tyrant blood. Anyway, the reality of it is I'm terrified. I'm terrified of what's going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not staying here. I'm not staying in the US if Trump gets to power. He's not going to win the popular vote. There's zero chance of that. He might win the electoral college, maybe, but there's almost certainly going to be fuckery from every Republican state, and he's got the Supreme Court and the whole House in the tank for him. And like all they have to do is kick it to the House and it's over. And he's just the president. That doesn't matter. And if he gets in there, then the whole thing's over. And then
Okay, I'm a realist
I
anyway.
I'm just gonna say,
The question was, are
where
we leaving
where are
the
we gonna
country?
go? Where are we
Are
gonna
we
go?
leaving the country? Yeah,
I am. The answer
yeah.
is I am. I don't know if I'm going to go to Canada or not. Canada does already do LGBT refugees from the United States. There's a program, I think it's called, I can look that up. Oh, I don't know. I look that up and you talk a little bit.
I would also say, and this is something I see online a lot, and I just want to warn you, people going like, "Well, I live in a blue state, and if if what if what the
Oh,
Republicans
shit.
want to have happen happens, living in a blue state will not do
No, it
anything
won't. It
for you.
won't help.
That will
Like
not
that's
do anything for
they're
you.
just going to replace everybody.
Yeah.
It's your state's not going to matter at that point.
Yeah, no.
So,
The electrical college is
and
just DEI for rednecks. Like we don't need it anymore. There's no reason that
never
Wyoming
needed in
should
the
have as
first place. It was a
well, like
concession
I
to
said,
slave
when it was
states.
13 states and like 500 people, then cool, let's whatever.
It
But
was
now
it was
it's
it was there
all
for
right.
slave states because
Okay, yeah, we
the
all know
slave
that.
owners
We
wanted
all
their
know
slave to
that.
count as a
But
half a
it's also
person.
anyway, times have changed. And it,
Yeah.
it really is like why does Wyoming have two senators and California has two senators? Every vote in Wyoming counts exponentially more than a vote in California or New York. and it just shouldn't be. It should count. Your vote should count as a vote for the person you voted for. Um, and that's just the end.
So, quick
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
I'm gonna
Lay it
put
out
this
there.
in the chats right now. There is a organization, an NGO in Canada called Rainbow Refugee and they're at rainbowrefugee.com. If you can get into Canada, they will help you once you're there to get refugee status as a transgender person or anyone on the LGBTQ spectrum that's facing persecution, and that includes the United States. They're already working with people from the United States. So I put that in the link in the chat and both Twitch and YouTube there. And there's also another thing you should know about called the Dutch American Friendship Alliance. This gets you into Holland, but it's also very more. It's trickier. You have to either like own a business or meet or already have employment. But like it's one of the easier countries to get into if you just want to just get over the EU. And Holland is rated, I think Canada's #1 rated country for LGBTQ rights in the world. I think Holland is #2, Germany's #3, and 4, believe it or not, is Malta. And if you don't know where Malta is, that is an island in the Mediterranean, southwest of
God damn it.
Sicily,
God damn
between
it.
Sicily and Tunis.
No, you know
What?
what? My comedy senses are twitching. Do you know what Malta is famous for?
What?
Malta is where they filmed the movie Popeye, and the set is still standing there.
All the more reason to go to Malta. Malta it is.
I'm pretty sure I got that right. I'm gonna double check that.
I think you are right, actually.
I
I
don't
think
want
you're
anyone moving
absolutely
to
right about
Malta
that.
based on the fact that I said Popeye was shot and then it's not, and now they're mad at me.
No, I think it was. I think it was there.
Yep.
I don't know if it's still
That's,
standing. I don't know if
no, it
that
is
part's
still
still.
standing. It is still standing.
So I will then also I'm gonna put another link to the Dutch American Friendship Treaty. It's this weird treaty that got signed in the 60s, like well Kennedy was president, that's still there. And it's like it makes it super easy for Americans and Dutch people to emigrate back and forth. And it's awesome.
So it's open 7 days a week, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you go to PopeyeMalta.com, you can see all about the Popeye Village. You can have your wedding there.
That's I mean, Malta was rated #4 for the best place. I'm gonna just get that. I think that puts it ahead of Germany. Would they ever film in
What they ever do
Germany?
in Germany?
What did
Huh?
the Germans ever do?
What have they ever accomplished? Not Popeye, that's for sure.
No, I
How is
have
the set still standing? They put the work in, baby. Like you're Malta. You got the one thing you got is the Popeye Village. You put all your money into keeping that Popeye Village going, and you get people to come out and get married at the Popeye Village.
I love it. I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, in all seriousness, I mean, if you don't already have money stashed or a plan, start making one because it's serious. This is serious shit. Like if this breaks bad, it's gonna be far worse than I think what a lot of people are thinking. I'm not trying to be a Debbie
No,
Downer.
no, you're not. You know who's gonna be the most super fucked are people who voted for Trump. Like
Yeah,
they think like they're immune to this. It's
yeah,
like,
no,
man,
no one's gonna do well here.
yeah.
Like it's
Oh,
gonna get really bad for everybody really fast, except for really, really rich, white, straight Christian men. That's the only
like
people that are gonna do all right. Like everyone else is absolutely
you
fucked
miss you
if
miss
this
that stuff
happens.
about getting rid of overtime, huh? Well, guess what? Now you're not getting paid for overtime, genius. Good on you.
Like it's you think if you think things can't get worse, you have no idea how much worse they're
Oh,
gonna get.
hey, there's
All
no
the
bottom.
things,
There's
yeah,
never
there's
bottom
no
of the
bottom
barrel
to
is just
this.
a
Yeah.
saying for anything. Things can always get worse.
Yeah. And everyone has a very
But
much to
also,
lose with this.
I
So
know,
like,
but
yeah.
also like prepare for it. Do not let it eat your insides. Like all you can do is the best you can today.
All you can do is vote, and like to the extent that you want, like if you want a phone bank or do the volunteer stuff, that stuff does help. I know people that are phone banking for Harris and in swing states. Anyone that lives in a swing state can vote, like boots on the ground. You can go door to door. They like you can contact the Harris for president thing, and you can ask. They will put you to work. Like I've worked on campaigns before. I was a campaign strategist, campaign strategy consultant for a while, and like they every campaign needs bodies, needs human bodies to do work. So like if that's something you've got the wherewithal, you want to help in that way, you're fighting in. I don't know how it's going to go. I really don't. Like, and it is crazy. It's an awful sort of Damocles to have hanging over our heads, because like I haven't been able to make any plans for the last 4 years. Like I've been
Hey,
watching and just being like, I can't
hey,
invest in
I'm
this.
set. I'm set to direct a show in January and February here in Detroit. So
Right.
Harris has to win just so this show can happen.
There
Because
you
you know,
go.
if
Make it
you've seen
happen.
any of my shows that I've directed, you know that the world needs it.
That's
You know,
true. I agree.
yeah,
I agree. That's a reason alone.
yeah. I'm gonna do an
But yeah, I mean,
improvised kids show.
start
That's
making
where I'm at.
friends in other places. That's the
Yeah.
best thing you can do. Start meeting people. Like
You just
get
tell a
on
bunch
your
of
social
tell
medias and
all
be
us
like,
trans
"Hey, who
people to go
lives
make
here? What
friends with
how
people.
can
What?
yeah,
Stop
make
it.
friends with
I
people.
don't
That's
make
how you
friends. I don't make
that's
friends.
how you accomplish things
I
in
don't make.
life."
I don't make.
Like,
No, no, no. People will tell you I don't make friends.
well, yeah, you do. You're such a liar. You
I
have so
make
many
hay while the
friends.
sun is shining.
Yeah.
I don't make friends. All right.
She makes it rain at the club, yo.
Yo, I do. I really do. So.
I feel like such an old person that just said that, because I don't know if anyone's used that phrase in the last 20
Oh, hey,
years.
welcome to 19. Welcome to 2002.
Yeah, that's like a 2002 thing. I feel like, yeah, got my flip phone. I'm good.
You know what?
I'm making
Here's
it
the thing:
rain.
is you just have to understand that's just like the way things work. You don't have to feel bad for not knowing what the kids today are saying. You're not supposed to know what the kids are saying. The kids will, if you find out what the kids will saying, the kids will change what they're saying so that you do not know it.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't feel real ridiculous. I can keep up with the kids speak. Like it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's no joke to get back to the question and kind of wrap it up. Like it's no joke. Like have a plan.
Yeah.
Those are two good things that I posted. Look into it for yourself. A lot more places than that have refugee status for LGBTQ people. So like at least you got that going for you. You know, it's like it's not much, and it sucks the idea that like we grew up in a place that told us it was the best place ever, and that like it's number one in the world, and then you're gonna have to fucking be a goddamn refugee. Like it's scary to think, but like it might come to pass. And I mean the other option is stay here and fight, like because it's hot war if that happens. It is, and I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for like what's coming. Like it's not good.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Did you want to get to a third
Yeah,
question?
we got a third one. I think we got.
We
I
got a
think we want
third
to talk about
question.
this
It's
one.
unprecedented.
It's
Unprecedented.
unprecedented.
Should I do a count in for you?
No, don't. They'll just confuse people. Like, why are we counting in a show 45 minutes in?
In five,
Stop.
4, 3.
This one, and I gotta find it first. Hold on. All right. This is from the epic epileptic, who politely says, "I hope it's not too late to ask, but how can one deal with a partner who is supportive initially, but after 3 years breaks off an engagement because you're trans?" And I'll start with this because I kind of went through a similar thing.
Yeah, you did.
I was married at the time, and she was quote unquote supportive, but like I'd come home and she'd be like reading like one of these books like written by someone whose husband transitioned and like told their story, and she'd be like crying, and I'm just like, this is, you know, first of all, making it about them, accusing me of lying, like we've been married and you've never mentioned this, and it's like, yeah, do you know like
This
Like it's
works.
not just something you like come out to like 1977. You're just like, I'm a girl now. It's just like this. I'm not lying to you. And like said she'd make it work. And then I still have this. So it was our anniversary in 2015. So it's like our 22nd anniversary. And she gave me like an anniversary card. And it was just like very apologetic, like, oh, I'm sorry I've been so rude to you about all this. So basically admitted like everything that I was feeling. And then was just like, whenever you want, we can talk about this. And I was like, okay, no, not the easiest thing to talk about. So I didn't say anything right away. And then like a day later, she came in to the room. I think I was playing a video game and just started yelling at me. She's like, "Well, are we ever going to talk about this?" And I'm like, "Okay, like when I'm ready and I know what I want to say, we talk about." It." She's like, "We're not going to talk about it. We should just get divorced." And honestly, I was just like, "Okay, let's just do that." I don't think she was expecting that. I was like, "Yeah, let's just do that." Um and here's the thing. And like I don't know about your partner. Um
Yeah, it's
my
different for
partner
everybody,
looking
but
back like going to therapy was incredibly like emotionally abusive and just things like I met this person when I was in high school. We dated in college. I never really dated anyone else. Like I had no experience, and just looking back it's just like, oh my God, the shit that I put up with. And I'm sorry you're going through it, and I know it sucks. It doesn't feel good. But it's also just like, well, if that person's, it's kind of like we talked about with your family and your work, is like if that not person's not there to support you, like as much as difficult it is like, okay, how do I move forward? How do I find that person who is going to be that? And I found that person. I found multiple people, but now I've picked one of them who's with me, for the long haul, and it sucks, and you grieve, and you know that's painful. Like there's no doubt about it, but also realize that like that's for the best then. Like
yeah.
honestly, if I'd rather we had broken off a 3-year engagement than had gone through the 23 years we were married.
Truth, truth, and that.
Not to make light, I know I'm laughing and not to make light of
I
it.
mean,
I
but
know
in the
I know
end,
it
that's how
sucks
it
and it
comes
hurts.
out. When it all comes out in the wash, you look back and you can't help but to laugh. But it's hard going through it. I mean, I've never been married, so I don't know. But I can, I've never been. I was never even capable of having a serious relationship because of being trans in the first place. So it's like I don't have any experience with that at all. But I've seen it a lot, and it's a common thing in the community. What's less surprising is a lot more people than I would have guessed are willing to give it a shot. Of those people that are willing to give it a shot, I've seen a higher percentage that I would expect make it actually work. But in the end, you have to understand that asking someone that when someone marries you with the with the understanding that you're a specific gender and then that turns out to not be the case, that's a pretty big fucking ask. Like it's not everyone has the that has the capability of like expanding their sexuality in that way. And it's it'd be nice if everyone could because it logically makes sense. Like it's like being bi is or pan is really the only way to be. But not everybody's capable of that, and it doesn't necessarily mean that anyone did anything wrong. It's circumstantial, and like I think I don't know what else to say to that. It's like the best you can do is try to make it work, but if it doesn't work, then that's just the way that goes. But it was destined to fail anyway in that regard because you can't not be who you are, like, because then you're just being dishonest, like at that point, like, and especially if you know already and you've talked about it, like you can't go back into the class of, well, I won't transition then, because that's not it. That's doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
and there's nothing really you can do. Like once you open the bottle, the genie's out, and that's it. And the only way to go is forward. But the good news of that, the good side of that is, and this even kind of harkens back to the first question we talked about, which is like, the people that aren't supportive, the people that can't get behind it, the people that are going do end up being toxic, well, that makes the decision really easy at that point. Is like it's like the trash takes itself out a lot of the time with this stuff. And that's why like with like
Well, I was sort of real back here. Like I
yeah,
don't want to
I
say
don't
that
mean to
this
call
person,
your spouse trash either. Like
your
that's not what I
partner's
meant
not
by that.
trash. I was saying like, one thing that comes up a lot also is, you can't control how other people
Yeah.
live and react, just like they can't control how you live and react and respond. And hopefully it was just that thing and you can wish them well. Like all the things I've gone through, I've never wished ill on my ex-partner. I'm just like, whatever they're doing, I hope they're finding their thing. I hope they would accord me the same respect. I don't know if they do, and I don't really care. And you should have the same thing. It's like, hey, and again, in the moment it's tough, but it's just like, if they have doubts about making this work, then it's probably better to not try to make it work and fail than to just like go your separate ways now. If they feel that way. And again, I know I've said this like 8 times. I know it sucks, and I know like you don't want to hear
It does
it.
suck. It's
Like
hard.
you don't want to hear it after you break up that it's for the best or that it's this, and it's just like it's painful. Let yourself hurt for a while. I and honestly, like I was in such that marriage was so bad. Like literally, when that person said let's get divorced, like it literally was just like okay, let's do it, and I did it. I also broke up with someone, that I was dating while I was going through my transition, and um, they were they were the smart one. When Trump won the first time, they got into a school in Europe and moved to Ireland, and we were dating at the time, and we broke up. Mostly because I think, I was going through my transition, which I don't think was the issue. It was more like I lived in America, they lived in Ireland, they were not coming back, and I was at a point based on what I've been through my first relationship, I wasn't going to stop my transition and uproot my life and move somewhere for someone else as much as, I love this person. And if someone had came up to me like 2 weeks after we broke up and been like, "Oh, it's for the better," I probably would have like pounded their face in. Like I was in like this is something I was inconsolable for for like we broke up in June and I would still cry thinking about this person in December. Like I was inconsolable. And so like I get it. And sometimes you just have to feel the feels, but also realize you're not at fault. There's no reason to hate them. They were upfront and like they gave it for three
There's
years
no
and
one to blame in that
there's no one to blame.
situation.
It just didn't work and I feel for you and I love you and I'm sorry that you had to go through this, but you know, feel it, accept it that it's going to hurt and there's nothing wrong with it hurting, but also that the rest of your life is in front of you and you can make that what you want and that person is out there. I think we also tend to think like that the people out there aren't out there for us and the people are out there and we'll find them. Was that a good answer?
I hope so. I think so. I think that was a good answer. I think that was good. I don't have anything to add because I've never been through it. Like I
Oh,
said, I've just seen it. But
just saw that splashed up a little addendum that they are on good terms, but they have to live together until their lease ends in March. Um, oh,
yeah.
I
Well, I
I'm
mean,
sorry. At least you're on
that
good.
depends on what goes down because,
At
like,
least
as we just said,
at least you're on good terms. I know, like I when
it
I got
might
divorced.
not be. You might not make it to March.
When I got divorced, I did not talk to my ex the day I moved after I moved out of the house. I have not spoken to her since. Um, she's tried to text me and I blocked her text. She tried to email me and I blocked her email. I do not care. But yeah, I always feel for people, like, especially people who are married and have kids and are divorcing because one of them is transitioning. And I always feel like and that's anyone who's getting divorced who has to talk to their ex because of kids or whatever. Like, oh, I feel for that. But I'm sorry. Um, at least you're on good terms and going through I see you're going through your emotions off and on. Allow your emotions to be your emotions. Like don't feel like you're not allowed to hurt or that being hurt is bad and just like let it out when it comes and you'll be cool and yeah. but I'm pulling for you, and I love you. And I'm sorry. I think I know this person, so
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I wanted to address a thing or two in the chats before we wrap up and finalize it, but like I see that Erica said something that Erica says that her employer has operations in the Netherlands. Well, that is very good news for you. Assuming if you're out at work, like I mean, employers don't like people to move, but they depending on what kind of employer you have, if they're understandable, if they're understanding for that sort of thing and they're sympathetic, like there are good employers out there that will be like, yeah, we get it, you got to go, we'll set you up over there. And I would explore that option if I were you, like, and look into it, because the Netherlands is, like I said, it's the second highest rated country in the world. I have a friend in the Netherlands that who was trying to help me get over there last year, and everything she told me, everyone I've ever known that's ever went to the Netherlands, it sounds amazing and awesome. Like, it's just a great place to be. um the other plus side for trans women is the average height of cis women in the Netherlands is about 5'11", so they have shoes and clothes that are going to fit you. Cis women are just tall. Like, it is a normal thing for a woman to be 6'1", 6'2" in the Netherlands. It's just, they're everywhere. Really tall cis women. So there are shoes, there's clothes, there's all this good stuff. It's a secular society. Like, there's very little religion there. Like, it's just an all around good place. Like, it's a very good place. So if you can get to the Netherlands, that's a great place to be. Germany's another great place. Yeah.
But also, I'm just gonna put this out there. Maybe,
UK not so
maybe,
much.
maybe this time next
Mm.
year, I'm in Detroit, you're in California, and we're living our
Yep.
best lives in the
And
country
that
that we
could
were
be,
born in.
if shit breaks the right way, I'm not going anywhere because I love California. I really don't
Hell
want to
no!
have to leave
You know
Southern
how
California.
much time I've spent getting letters from other adults so I can get my gender confirmation
Yeah,
surgery.
I've got
I'm not le
insurance that's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
cover it.
I'm
Like,
not
it's like,
leaving if I don't have to.
I
I got
know.
a doctor 5 minutes away who's gonna do this.
I know.
We're gonna
That's what
do
I'm
this,
saying.
bro.
I've got shit going if I can, but if it breaks bad, I can't stick around, and I don't think any of us should. I
I'm
think we
not
should
going to
all
the
fucking
Netherlands till
run
I
for
get the
our
work done on
lives.
my Netherlands. There you go. That's what I was
Oh,
looking for.
it's the joke
Yeah.
that you've been waiting to tell. And with that, ladies and
Woo!
gentlemen and friends beyond the binary, I don't think we're gonna top that joke. So let's do just a little housekeeping, little last bit.
I just imagine everyone just logged off after that. They're like, I hate you too.
No,
Specifically.
they just started applauding. The chat's exploding. It's
Oh
just like
yeah.
all these
Oh
clap,
yeah.
all these clap emojis. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Working on my Netherlands as a hit. I'll keep that in
It's
mind.
just they had to open another server farm in Palo Alto just for all the clap emojis for that terrific joke.
Yeah.
Lake Michigan lost an inch. So we do this show every week. We didn't do it last week. Barring an event that Lilith and I do, we do live events or things come up once and again. Last week Lilith had to go to Utica, but for the foreseeable future, we will be here at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, 1900 Universal, every Saturday going forward until we aren't. But we'll give you notice. Then please tell people, share it, like and subscribe, do all that stuff. It really, really helps. If you haven't liked this video already, do it. Just click that like button. That's all you got to do. Doesn't change your life, helps us out a lot. Responding helps out a lot. That's great stuff. If you want to go the extra mile, you got a little extra change in your pocket, you could subscribe to our Patreon. And for a very small, tiny donation, we don't discriminate. $5 a month is great. That's a super helpful thing for us. That lets us make more shows, lets us do more things, lets us get better equipment, lets us market and spread the word. Like, understand that the reason that Lilith and I do this is because we want to help the transgender community, and we want to normalize being transgender, and take away as much of the stigma about it as we can. And that's the whole point of everything that we do here on this show and the Transverse Network overall. That's the mission, and that's what we're about. And so any little bit helps towards that. It makes the world a better place for everybody in it, and we're trying to do that. So if you can do that, that's great. If you want to go get some awesome merch, we've got a bunch of cool trans positive merch at our merch store at etsy.com/thetransverse or thetransverse/etsy.com. Either way, if you go to thetransverse.net, there's a shop link there that'll get you there. You can find it. It's the Transverse on Etsy. And there's great stuff that you can get. I have bought merch from there, and it's a wonderful coffee mug, and it's my favorite coffee mug, and I use it every day. And that's something you can do. We also have other live streams. We have, well, the questions that we did on this show today will end up being edited and condensed and have all the chop up and squeezed into a nice tight package and thrown up on a show on YouTube that we do every Tuesday called Transition Tuesday. And so you can watch that anytime you want because it's on YouTube. You should like and subscribe to the Transverse channel, by the way, if you haven't, and definitely leave comments on our videos. If you ever have a question you want us to answer on this show, you can ask us in the chat as you did, and you can leave a comment on any of our YouTube videos. We check them all. One more thing.
Okay. You should really write
Two
this
more
out before
things.
you start.
I know, and I have it written down somewhere, but I can't. I'm too me. I can't do it any other way. Speaking of the Transverse, we could always use volunteers. We need tech people. We need people that are willing to run OBS. We need, if you know your way around the webs and the social medias, we could use you. We need people for marketing, very much so. We very much need help with marketing and getting the word out. So if you're good at that stuff, if you're good at anything, if you just want to talk, you want to be a participant, you want to help in whatever way you can, email media@thetransverse.net and get in touch with Emily, and she'll get in touch with you, and she'll put you to work. And that's what I do. It's what Lilith did. Like, that's why we're here. We have our show because
To be fair, you just dragged me along.
I did drag her along.
I
I did
didn't
it.
meet
I
I didn't
brought
meet
Lilith
Emily
with
until
me.
we'd already started doing the show.
But it's great, and it's a great place to be. And like I said, we're just trying to make the world better for the transgender community, and in turn all people, really. And so be a part of that if you've got the wherewithal to do it. I've got another live stream coming up in about an hour. That's Mediocre Poker. It'll be right here on the Transverse channel. You have to re-log in, I think. I don't know how it works with Twitch and YouTube, but it'll be on Twitch and YouTube on the Transverse. And it's a poker play and explain. I will be playing either PLO or Texas Hold'em, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to play poker, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and all that stuff. And I'll talk in the chat and all that good stuff. And then tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Universal, I do a live stream of Fallout 76 called the Church of Vault-Tec. It is the third stream. Last thing that I did last week was I was in Flatwoods, and I just did the little mission with the farmer bots. Little event came up, and so I got a bunch of stuff to do. We got to get the mission, I got to get the sign up. I will listen to your instructions, and I will play according to the way you think things should be played. So help me design my character, help me make her pretty, help me do good things, help me rebuild America in the wasteland of West Virginia. I need your help. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Stick around, come on back in about an hour, we'll play some poker. That's about that. Lilith, you got anything else?
I'm firing up the grill. I'll be making burgers and dogs. If you're in Detroit and can find me, come by and have
Yeah,
dinner.
get a burger and a dog. Oh, that sounds great.
And then tomorrow tomorrow's nail day, so time to
I
redo the
know. Let me see what
nails.
you
I
got.
know.
Let me see what you got in
Oh,
here.
these are
Look at
old. These are starting to like
yeah, they're still so
they're
pretty.
yeah, they're
I
really
can
good.
see that. I can see that
You
they're
can see the gap.
I
Yeah,
can see you're ready for a
yeah.
new style
So I'm
and
gonna get it
color, and I'm
good.
always so excited when Lilith gets her nails
Oh,
done
it's
because yes,
fall. We're gonna be getting them
it,
fall colors going.
yeah, it's fall colors time. I made
Yeah,
a fall colored spaceship in. I made a black and orange and gray spaceship in Fallout or in Starfield today,
yeah.
and it's really cool looking. I'm pretty proud of it.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And it was so amazing getting to answer your questions and best to everyone. We love you and we just want you to be
Yeah.
living your best life and know that you can make it happen.
Thanks for coming. We love having you, and we love chatting with you. We love doing the show, and I hate to say it, but I gotta say it. Like and subscribe, smash that button, share the videos, tell people about it. If you know trans people that don't watch our show, have them watch our show. Help, 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 help.
Make it sound so desperate. Like
It is desperate. We need help.
eh, we're, would you go to a hospital if like the doctors were outside like we're here to help, someone help us, like we're
I would
here
be
to help.
like, I
If
would,
you
I
have a
would be
friend
very happy if a doctor did that to me because my
if you have that
experience in
friend
the
who's always
hospital has
asking
not been that good ever.
if you have a friend who's always asking you questions, you're like, I don't know, have them come by and ask us, and we don't know either, but we'll act like we do.
And remember, that show's not just for transgender people. We're here for the allies too, or anyone that just wants to know more about it. Like I really can't emphasize this enough. I really want to make it a safe place for cis people too, because I want to bridge that gap. Because I think a lot of cis people out there feel like that we get all defensive and if they can't say anything for fear of like hurting our feelings and they're that we're gonna jump down their throats and we will if they say something really stupid but if you've got family that like wants to understand and is having a tough time, send them our way and we'll chat with them and we'll talk with them and we'll answer their questions too. And so all that's good stuff. With that, have a good
Are you
day.
gonna really close off now?
I'm really closing
Are
it
you
up.
really gonna close off now?
I gotta get the thank you for watching thing ready to go. And with that, yeah, we're gonna go. We'll be back next week and come back in an hour for mediocre poker. See ya.
Bye.